and it's something I'll be covering in a talk I'm giving next week called The Net Present Value of Happiness, is that there is a risk right now where a lot of people are saying, I'll be happy when I can, when I'm back in the office and social. I'll be happy when I can see my family, when I can see my friends. I mean, heck, I'm saying it, and I don't believe in it, if you know what I mean, because one of the important things is, as sad as it sounds, some of those things may not happen. And it's about finding happiness in the present and where we are, and becoming comfortable in whatever life is, not what it isn't, and so on. The biggest thing I've been saying to people is stop worrying about what you can't do. Don't worry about the can't, because there's a lot that we can't do, but there's so much that we can do as well. And whether that's approximating through kind of using Zoom, Skype, whatever it is, to have after work drinks or cook meals together, something like that. That's great. You can still do a lot of those things. And one of the other biggest parts that I talk about throughout Life is a Four-Letter Word and just in everything I say is being accepting of yourself and being accepting of what matters to you, because a lot of that gets distracted and gets kind of left beneath the surface when we're so busy, when we're kind of running around day to day doing all these things. Now is the time to listen. Now is the time to kind of think about what matters to you. I mean, I know personally that I've learned through this that actually I really do like social interaction. I talk about being kind of a balanced introvert, extrovert, but I've really learned that I do need other people to feel rested. I haven't felt rested throughout this because I haven't been seeing people. And I know that when I am enabled to do that, when the world allows it, that I'm going to look forward to being with people. But I also need to find happiness in the present, as I was saying before, where you need to know what you can do now to bring happiness. Because it's easy to say, oh, well, I can't do this, can't do that, I can't travel, all these things you can't do. So stop worrying about them, because all you're doing is distracting from what you could be doing that could make you happy. And as people are out there now having these conversations with themselves, being like, well, actually, this is how I want to work. So I don't want to go back to the office. I don't want to lose the commute. I don't want the commute. I don't want to lose the time. Now is the time when you can start thinking about that and start thinking about, well, if I don't like it, I should look for places that I do like or that do matter. If I'm really missing my family, maybe I should move closer to them, or like one of the things I've been toying with is I miss education. I miss learning. I love learning. And what this has taught me is maybe I need to start learning again and start doing something that I really enjoy. And having those conversations with yourself is so hard, but it is so rewarding when you get there. And sometimes it's like, and all it is about knowing that actually it's okay to have these conversations with yourself a lot of the time, because sometimes we call ourselves crazy. It's like, why am I saying this to myself? Why am I having this conversation? But you're not. Most of us do it. And that's kind of why I put my Tyler Durden out there to say, look, here's a conversation I'm having, and I'm fairly certain, and I'm really, really hopeful that other people are having them too.
What are the most effective ways that small companies can support their staff in terms of mental health, do you think?
I mean, the absolute biggest thing, and it doesn't matter of size of organisation, is having those open conversations from the person at the top to every other level in the organization, because the more that happens behind closed doors, the less trust is built throughout people. And one of the things I never felt was that people cared about who I was and what I would. They cared about what I was doing and what my results were and everything like that, but not about the individual. And I've seen great small businesses that are just kind of like, well, yeah, every week I get to sit down with the person at the top. It may just be a coffee for 15 minutes to be like, hey, how's it going? But they're showing an actual interest in me. And building that throughout an organization is one of the best ways to build happiness and a mentally healthy culture. Like all of us, whoever we are, whatever organization we're in, we love, or we as humans crave acceptance and crave kind of, am I a part of this or not? And when you're not having those conversations with people throughout the organization, then you don't feel a part of it, and you feel you're just a worker rather than a person, and so on. And it's a lot easier in smaller business, a lot easier, because I can speak to the people who work for me easily, because there's me and there's them, and I just sit down and we chat, or something like that. And the bigger a business gets, the harder it is, and the more layers of middle management and middle tiers there are, where it's kind of like, well, I don't have time to focus on this, so I delegate, and then they delegate, and then they delegate, and it becomes detached. So I think the single biggest thing that anyone can do is just have open conversations, just honest conversations, everything like that, because that is where it all starts. But it's giving people the confidence to have that, and that's where showing and embracing your own vulnerabilities can give them the confidence to say, well, you know what, I'm struggling, I'm finding it hard, and it's breeding that culture throughout. I used to be afraid to say I don't know, whereas actually now I'm just like, I don't know. That is not something I'm an expert in, but I can find someone who is. And you know what I mean? It's not a weakness in you. Each person is a specialist in something or a generalist in all things, but no one person can hold all the answers. So we all actually do need each other in some regard.
And of course, most of the answers for the questions that we're facing at the moment aren't out there anyway. We're all discovering it all for the first time. So starting off anywhere other than I don't know right now is lying to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, precisely. And what I've tried to do in a lot of what I said is just give people confidence to say, you know what, I'm not the only one feeling this. I'm not the only one struggling with it. I'm not the only one that has these insecurities inside of me or anything like that. We're all just equal at the end of the day.